The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. They clean up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello, Douse Punks in the building. We're back. We pre-recorded a couple of these, and now we are back in the office after Thanksgiving weekend. We were at DJ Collective. What'd you think of DJ Collective there, Fusamania?
Well, I have a lot I thought about it. My first thing I would say is that what a production. Those guys knocked the ball out of the park. I've been to quite a few DJ conferences over the years now, and production wise, it doesn't get any better than what they did there. Very action packed too. I mean, from the day it starts at 9 a.m. is your first breakout track or whatever they call it. Then you keep going all day and all night.
Well, actually, I think the first day was 1, but we did have to get up early and kind of register and do all that other stuff. But then, yes, it's right up and early and goes all the way to the wee hours. So you're getting your money's worth. They're filling it all in. Even the breaks had dope DJ breakouts and
Silas Chris with the disco, and that was amazing with the roller skaters. Obviously the Ragozas, I mean, they are really, 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 really top notch. They had one day to they prepped that set in one day. I don't know if you knew that, but
I didn't know that.
That's why I was like blown away by that, because I hate country music. I think everybody that listens to this podcast by this time knows that I hate country music. They really did really well. A country set very tastefully. I think that, I mean, they just nailed it. And the performance aspect and everything, they just Team Ragoza. I mean,
Team Ragoza, Team DMS, and Team Ragoza. Get his edits exclusively on our sponsor, directmusicservice.com.
Speaking of sponsors, I just want to let you guys know, if you use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show, that'll get you 30% off your first month at directmusicservice.com. Also, if you click the link below in the description of this video, there's going to be a affiliate link for the Photo Booth Supply Company, and that won't do shit for you, but it will help the show out. So if you're in the market for a photo booth, click that, affiliate link and hook your boys up. Drew said he'll give you a t-shirt.
We got some sticker packs.
We got sticker packs,
I actually got we got that one of one.
Oh, dang. We are not a DJ conference. We're a podcast.
Actually, those don't. If you didn't get one at the show, you're out of luck.
Yep. Also, I just want to let you guys know the sponsorship finally did come in. We are now officially sponsored by Liquid Death. So all you haters that said we'll never get the sponsorship, I'm just letting you know that we are sponsored now. We just struck a 3-episode deal with them. And there you have it. So suck on that.
Officially, unofficially.
What's it taste like?
It tastes like heaven.
Oh, I thought it tastes like water.
Tastes like heaven in inside of hell.
So, speaking of DJ Collective, we have a guest on today that we got to chat with a little bit at DJ Collective. Personally, the DJ Collective is just like a whirlwind for me. I felt like there was so much going on that you really had to kind of like pick and choose who you got to talk to and when. And then if you like wanted to listen to the DJs, then it was like you got to pick to not talk to people and go listen to that. Like there's just a lot going on at all times. But we did get a chance to talk to our guest today, and
he sponsored one of the breakouts, by the way. It was with Buck Rogers, the electronic one, and he's
a DJ that hails in from the Midwest, but now calls Missoula, Montana home, specializing in open format. He does mostly private events with some bars and clubs sprinkled in. When the pandemic hit, and it It really rocked our entertainment world. He turned his passion project into a company, and that company is Briggs Beard Company, and it's all natural beard and body oil company that focuses on sustainability. So with that being said, please help us welcome Briggs.
What's up?
Yay.
Hello.
What's up?
Excited to be here with you guys. I'm pumped. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I should be on the show with the long list of very not professional. You guys aren't professional. The accoladed DJs that have been on the show has been super cool. So I'm honored to be here with you guys to talk shit for an hour and a half. So
You are a trailblazer in what you're doing, so you do deserve to be here, because what you're bringing to the table is, we had an episode, or it was like a series on Direct Music Service, and it was called Beyond the Decks. And the idea is taking DJing and just being an entrepreneur and everything that we learned with it and growing it beyond only DJing. So I know you still DJ and you still have a lot to do with it, but it is we do learn a lot in this community.
Agreed.
Just
Definitely.
pushing your own brand and being an entrepreneur.
I feel
Right.
like for the 5 minutes we got to talk to you too, Drew and I were very few people take a negative time in their lives and do something positive with it. And I think your whole kind of story is that. So I'm happy to have you on and share, kind of your journey of what you've went through and how it kind of relates to DJing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pumped to talk about it. I mean, everybody's story is unique, right? And we all kind of experienced lockdown and COVID. I mean, obviously we'll get more into this in a second, but we all experienced it in a different way. And I just kind of made a decision to take a left turn and just figure out something else and kind of just ran with it. And here we are.
Awesome. So one thing we kind of like to do before we get started is we'll do some rapid fire questions, and we're going to play a little segment video here, and then we'll get started into some rapid fire questions.
Hey, this is the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Drew and Fuse, let's talk questions. In fact, let's do some rapid fire. Now, I know these rapid fires aren't always so rapid fire, and that is okay by me. I got nothing but time. Now, let's look at the man in the mirror and get started.
All right.
It never gets old. Again, I think I'm on the long list of people that's never actually seen the videos because I listen on Spotify. So I'm very excited to see all of these segment videos for the first time. All of my reactions are authentic.
That's Michael Jackson, the real Michael Jackson, if you didn't know. So
Definitely not in his prime, but you got him. You got him.
I'll take it. Take him however we get him.
So one of the first questions we like to ask is just stuff that you're currently listening to in your personal time, not work related. That could be podcasts, that could be music, and whatever, just stuff that you're enjoying listening to in your personal time.
Sure. I don't know if I try to relate to other DJs in this, but I really like to not listen to gig music when I'm not working gigs, because I mean we do obviously play a lot of the same stuff. That's just the way the world turns these days. So I love like funk. I'm a really big indie guy. I if you can't tell, I kind of look like a hipster. I'll claim it. It's okay. Right now, dude, Michael Kiwanuka has been or Kiwanuka, excuse me, has been on my Spotify playing quite a bit. Marcus King came out with an album pretty recently. I don't know if you guys are familiar with any of these people, but more rock, like rock mixed with a little bit of funk, I guess, if you will. But some good. I love instruments. I'm a drummer. I grew up a drummer, so I'm always down to listen to full bands and anything like that. But then again, more mainstream stuff. I'm an Anderson .Paak fan through and through, even before Silk Sonic and made him famous. But so I always like to listen to a bunch of his stuff. But then once I hop in the gym and I'm working out, I just hit up Mixcloud and kind of scroll through what people have been putting out recently. And DJ Precise just put out a recent mix right before the collective, actually, on Club Killers that has been pretty fire. That's what I've been listening to the past couple of days. So Yeah, that's kind of what's going through the headphones. Podcast, the Road Podcast, another DJ podcast. I'm sure you guys are familiar. They're always coming out with fire episodes and having some really cool guests on and stuff like that. So I do frequent that one a lot. And as always, the most important, Drew and Few Show.
Well, thank you. That's a great list. I'm going to check out a lot of those artists. Anderson .Paak, being a drummer, I mean, his drumming skills he's so dope, dude.
It's next
And
level.
it's very just off the wall, kind of not very like down the road, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And honestly, when I first heard of Anderson, I heard his music before I knew he was a drummer. So like I was listening to his music a little bit and then found out he was a drummer. So it just literally went from like level 9 to like level 11 for like my fanship of his. Because once you hear him drum, and I've seen him, I think 3 times now. I'm glad I saw him when I did, because now to see him or Silk Sonic is like 3 times the price. But once I saw him live, I'm like, dude, this guy gets it. He's just all over, because he raps, sings, drums. I've seen him play bass and stuff too every once in a while. I got to see him with Thundercat, and that was pretty legendary. So yeah, he's amazing.
Do you still play drums?
I do, yes. Not as much as I would like to. My drum set's in my basement, set up, ready to go, but I just don't frequent it as much as I would like to. When I first moved to Montana, I found a group of guys that needed a drummer, and they were playing a lot of just classic rock hits, Steely Dan, Creedence Clearwater Revival, all that stuff. So, which is easy stuff to play, and I don't mind it, because that's what I grew up listening to that stuff with my dad. So I played with them like once a month, and then COVID hit. They kind of petered out on that, and since then I haven't really found a group of people to play with. And for me, playing with people is so much more exciting, especially as a drummer, because you're just the beat. There's no melody to what you're doing, so it can only sound so creative by itself. So I really like to find people to play with instead of just being in my basement making a bunch of noise. But
Is that how it transitioned into DJing? I mean, a drummer seems like a natural progression, just like we're paying so close to attention to the drums and just the beats in general. So was that part of kind of the progression into DJing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I started playing drums when I was about 6 or 7, and so at an early age I just had a love for music. And both my brothers, actually all 3 of my brothers at one point played the guitar. My younger brother, who lives in Nashville, actually saw him when we were at the Collective. He goes to school for music production, and then my dad plays guitar too. So music has just always been in my family. And then once I found out I was never going to be a good enough drummer to make any money off of it, I kind of like changed my mindset and took that skill set, as far as like just music theory and production, if you will, into the DJ world. So it was just kind of like I felt like I kind of had a little bit of a cheat code coming into the DJ world, because I didn't have to learn counting. I didn't have to learn theory. I knew, verse, chorus, and all that, how the structure of songs was already, just by playing drums. So the transition was easier as far as the music theory side of stuff goes.
You could have your guys' family could have been Hanson, or who else is it? The Jonas Brothers. You guys
Right?
kind of missed the boat on that. It could have all 3 of you.
There's still
Your dad.
time. There's still time. It's hilarious, because I will touch on this. My little brother, like, his big dream right now is to like run a ska band. Like, he just loves like dirty, grungy ska, which is like nothing I would ever choose to listen to or like want to play. So every time I'm around him, it's just like all this punky ska, like with a little bit of screamo, and I'm like, all right, we're just never gonna be in a band together. I just have to admit it. It's funny. You got to meet him. So he's hilarious. I love it. He's 19 and got this long hair. He's now got this this stash thing going, and it's a vibe, to say the least.
So me and Fuse kind of grew up in the ska scene, punk scene, and it's funny to hear that younger kids it's like coming back somehow. I don't know. I've heard it more times than I want to admit, that people are like really into ska all of a sudden.
It's interesting, and I can't tell if it's like a genuine love for the music, or if it, like, for my brother, I think he likes it so much because it like pisses me off, like that he likes that music so much. So I think there's a part of the love for the music that they just understand that like there is a large demographic of people that just don't like that, and so like, yeah, but we like it though.
I love Less Than Jake. Less Than Jake is I think I've said it on the show probably 1,000 times at this point, but if they come to Cincinnati, it's like a drop everything, go see them every time they come through town. That's how much I love. I don't always listen to I love listening to that music. If I'm just like cruising in the car, a lot of times it's not like my first thing I put on. But if I'm like headed out somewhere and I want to get like pumped up, I definitely put it on. And you know, I love the energy at their shows as well. Like it's just always fun, and everybody there is like super nice. And if you get in like a mosh pit at one of their shows, it's not like somebody's trying to kill you. Like if you fall down, somebody will like reach their hand down and pick you up and be like, let's go, and like then you just keep going. Whereas
I
like other
actually
shows been to, they're trying to kill you.
I actually just took my daughter to one, and it was cheap little local show, and she was in the pit. I got video of her and her friend in the pit, and so
Heck yeah.
I think I like the idea of just the community of anything. But like you said, growing up, being in bands and being just around music, I still love bands, and I'm sad there aren't as many, but I still do love live
For
music.
sure. Lucky for us, we do have quite a good local music scene here in Missoula, and we've got 3 venues that stay pretty stacked throughout like all seasons. We've got a sweet outdoor amphitheater that's open in the summers, and then we've got 2 indoor venues that are right downtown that try to get at least every other week, if not every week, there's somebody playing. So for a small mountain town like Missoula, that's exciting. I know we're not like Vegas or even LA or Nashville, where there's literally obviously every night something going on, but we do still get quite a few people. It's nice because we're like nestled right between like Seattle and like potentially like Bismarck if people stop there, but even like the Twin Cities like Minneapolis, St. Paul. So people kind of have to go through Minneapolis to go to, or I mean, excuse me, Missoula to get to Seattle for shows as far as like bands and performers. So sometimes we get some people to stop that are probably like we wouldn't normally get, but if it's a Tuesday night and they can play a quick show, like they tend to stop. So but
That's the
always-
best.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite remixer or producer? And that doesn't even mean like DJ edit wise. That just means like in music and as a whole. Is there anybody that you're really into?
in the DJ realm, I got to give a shout out to Even Steve, man. That dude, his edits are primo, and they're just like they're well thought out. So he's a Wisconsin boy. So me and him both got some Midwest blood. So shout out to Even Steve. And then I'm trying to think of like producers. Here's another one. If you guys have never heard of him, it's called Pro Leader, Proleter. He's just got like some funky beats, a lot of instrumental stuff with sometimes some vocals. It's actually what I use a lot to like for my scratch practice. I'll use his instrumental backgrounds as just kind of some beats to kind of practice some scratches on. So those 2 right now are kind of my faves.
Awesome.
Nice.
Is there a go-to Missoula food spot? Like if we were going to come there and visit, that's something you can only get there. Where would it be?
There's this restaurant called the Mustard Seed. I believe it's a chain, but I think they're only in like Spokane and Missoula, and they specialize in like Asian cuisine. So like Thai. I love Thai food. Anywhere I can go to try Thai food. I love pad Thai, and their pad Thai is hands down like the best in the city. And they also, ironically enough, have like killer chicken wings. So like I always get like pad Thai and a shitload of wings as well because they do it both really well. So that would be my recommendation.
And they don't have a crazy name. We just had DeVille on, and what was his place? It was like Thai spots always have the craziest names.
Right? It's always something funky.
24 hours. That's what it was. That was a
like
faux
with
spot.
PHO, like 20.
Yeah.
20, yes. I love it.
They always have the best names. It's so good.
That's great.
Do you have a crazy DJ story you would like to tell us? Any night from the DJ booth, event gone bad, anything like that?
I've got 2 that are like, one's pretty quick. The other one, I mean, they're both not that long, but the first wedding I ever DJed in Montana. So I DJ'd in Illinois and in like Western Wisconsin, where I went to college for like 5 or 6 years before I moved to Missoula. And so my first time ever doing a Missoula wedding, we're kind of like out in the boonies a little bit, which is pretty common here, like ranch weddings and stuff. And as like dinner starts to roll, I mean, this is like a 300 person wedding, so pretty large. And I noticed like I'm, talking with the caterer, kind of making sure everything's going well. And then like I come to find out that like there is only one caterer. Like he's cooking, he's prepping, and he's serving. And so I literally at one point, long story short, like was watching this line just wrap around the whole venue. And I like got up there, I started serving potatoes. I'm like, I want to party. Like these people want to rage. Like we got to get these people through line. So I'm literally in the buffet line, like serving people food. And they're like, wait a second. Aren't you the music dude? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm trying to party. Like, let's get this over with. So that was one of them. That was the very first one I ever did. So that was just
You're like,
yeah,
I'm the music guy. And today I'm the potato guy too.
Jack of all trades.
I did a wedding in the Midwest. No, it was by Sioux Falls. Anyways, the bride and groom actually were serving as well.
Wild.
They were just out there, like they cooked some of the stuff and were serving. So
That's crazy.
I don't know. It's what they wanted to do. It was like their big contribution.
Yeah, there's a lot like in Montana specifically. It's a lot of DIY culture, like for lack of better words. Like people just like to really do stuff themselves, whether it's the food, the venue, building all of their, table decorations and all that stuff, which is becoming more common. But so it's just kind of one of those things where you run into a lot of that, like, hey, we did this ourselves. I'm like, well, there's a reason there's professionals. So A for effort.
Totally.
But my second story is I actually had a grandfather of the bride have a stroke 2 minutes before the first dance. And like talk about just the ultimate. I mean, he's okay. He didn't die, but like thankfully, it just the ultimate deflate of a moment of like we're about to go into the first dance. People are like had been waiting because the food took a little bit longer. So like the buildup was there. People were ready for it. And out of nowhere, we just hear like somebody go down right around the corner where the like dinner was. And then the ambulance came, took him away. He was fine, but it was just kind of like a shell shock. And I'm like playing dinner music, which is obviously like a little bit more happy, especially right before dancing. It's like a little bit more upbeat, like trying to get people in the mood. And then like at one point the bride comes to me and she's like, can you play like something else? I'm like, yeah. So I'm like scrambling. I'm like, what do I even play right now? And then she asked me to play Dave Matthews. And I'm like, sure, I'll play you some Dave Matthews right now. Threw on some Dave Matthews song, and then immediately had like 3 or 4 people from the party come up and like complain that I was even playing music. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do in this situation. But it ended up being great. The party was fun. It was a good time. But it was just like one of those things where you just like, I've actually never seen this before. I thought I'd seen it all. And here we are.
There's no right thing to do. I think you have to play music, even if it's just something in the background.
Right.
Keeping it off would just be, I don't know. I think it would fuck it up.
It was a smaller wedding too, so it wasn't like there was chatter amongst the crowd, if you will, to like soften the silence, if that makes sense. That's kind of redundant, but so I was like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, I gotta play something. Like I can't just not play anything. But yeah. So yeah, those are my wild stories for you.
How long did it take before the ambulance came, or did somebody there help it?
Ambulance was there quick. I think they got there within 10 minutes, and he was in the ambulance within a half an hour. So like we were luckily, like we were just outside of Missoula, but we were close enough to a smaller town that I think they sent their ambulance and got him and then took him back into Missoula. So it was honestly surprisingly quick, but he was like awake and responsive way before the ambulance even got there. So you could tell that there was some like people were feeling better about the moment already, instead of him just being like completely incapacitated, like being like, okay, like we just watched this guy literally die on the dance floor. Like, right. Which would be terrible, obviously. So
it's a hard thing to deal with. I dealt with something like that kind of at an event, the last wedding I did. Do I play music? Do I not play music? And then of course everybody at the event thinks that they know best and wants to tell you what the fuck is up. Which, if you're listening to this and you're a guest at a wedding, shut the fuck up and sit in your seat.
You do not know what the fuck is up.
So yeah. So we got one more rapid fire question for you, and that would be, what is the best non-curse word, one word insult?
So this is the toughest one that you guys throw out, but I love it because it makes you think. I asked my girlfriend like 2 days ago. I'm like, you got to come up with something good, and she did not provide. So that was a letdown. But honestly, and because I was trying to think of something that I actually say, I didn't want to just come up with some BS that like I don't actually say. But like I do call people soft quite often, and just So I'm a big David Goggins fan, and he's always like, "Stay hard." So anytime I just can look at somebody and be like, "Dude, you're just absolutely so soft right now. This is unbelievable. Like you're being soft." That's probably the best I could come up with. But
We've never had that. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good one. Before he got canceled, Enzo Amore on WWE and Big Cass, their word that they would use is soft, but it was SAWFT.
FT, yep. It's a very specific type of soft.
So
That's like backside of the pillow after you just washed your sheets and like you flip it over like, oh yeah, that's soft.
that's a good one. We haven't had that one on yet. It is a very plain word that can cut very deep to the right person. So,
Exactly.
I like it.
So one of the things we wanted to talk to you about is, you started the beard company, and just kind of that transition of how that started and to where it's at today. So I don't have a specific question, and I'm sure we have some stuff we do want to ask, but we kind of just want to hear your story, and we think it's
Sure.
interesting, and people want to hear it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll jump right into it. I'll give you guys like the story version of kind of how things went down, and then hopefully that'll give you guys some prompts for questions. But yeah, I mean, just like everybody, or what I felt like, I ran into some guy at the collective who was from like Arizona and was like, "Yeah, dude, we shut down for 2 months," and I'm like, "Sick, dude. We shut down forever." Like, weird flex, but like, okay. So.
Right.
Once COVID hit, like obviously, DJing pretty much came to a halt, and Montana was really no different. And so we're stuck at home, and amongst practicing DJing and trying to better that skill, I just kind of had like this aha moment, or this realization moment that like, what if this happens again? What if there is another period of time where like work just does actually get taken away from you? Where would income be coming from? Is there another way to make some sort of income that is just goes beyond the event industry? So that was kind of an initial thought. But at that time, I had already been making my own beard oil for about 2 years before I had moved to Montana. And so I had always had the idea in my head, hey, maybe we'll just sell it at farmers markets, do something fun with it, just to do something different, make a couple extra bucks. And then, of course, as all good ideas happen, my roommate and I had a few too many old fashions one Wednesday night during lockdown, and
Best
I
ideas.
yeah, oh yeah, and I just kind of like was spitting all sorts of nonsense, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I think I actually do this. I think I could, figure out a way to make this, possible." And it's like, "All right, well, when we wake up in the morning or tomorrow afternoon, whenever it is, I'm going to make sure that you actually go through with this type of thing." So sure enough, it was nice because I had a roommate at the time that was kind of like an accountability partner to help me continue to pursue the idea of Briggs Beard, what became Briggs Beard Co. So that was in about April of 2020.
You got it
and
off
then-
quick, because I mean, basically, I have this picture of the last wedding I did was March 16th, right? And
Yep.
maybe the 15th, and then it was a wrap after that. So you're already in April, and you've already done this. So that's impressive.
So that's when the groundwork started. So we didn't end up launching until July. So it took a couple months just to get all the ducks in a row, because I had to figure out fulfillment. I had to figure out I had never made more than 2 ounces of beard oil at a time. So I got to figure out how to scale the website and all that stuff. So it's just kind of like all those things that I hadn't thought about before in a retail space. I am now thinking about every day, because it's like, okay, now we're going to do this. And obviously things started to slow down with, factories being shut down and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, now I'm dealing with longer lead times than I even expected. And it was just like almost overnight, it felt like I had more headaches than I anticipated, but obviously in a good way, because it was cool. So just to kind of speed up that part of the story. So April was kind of when I had the idea, did a lot of testing and stuff, and with the products and the bottles and all these different things. And I knew I wanted to do it a little bit differently, because a lot of my ideas came from a lot of the beard products that I had been using, and my frustrations with them, and the amount of packaging that they would send you, and the price point, and like what I felt like I was getting, and how a lot of them just smelled kind of like shit and just like smelled fake. And I don't like cologne. I haven't used cologne in years, and I just don't like the smell of like that alcohol-y stuff. So I wanted to make sure ours smelled natural and fresh and stuff like that. So that took a few months, and then finally on July 20th, I believe, of 2020 is when we launched, and we started with 4 products, 4 beard oils, and stickers, of course, on the website. And then from there, it's just been kind of a continual growth of the product line, our vision, and kind of the direction that we want to go, with sustainability kind of being the cornerstone. So some of the cool things that we do is all of the packaging that we ship in the boxes or the bags are compostable or recyclable. All of the stuffing in the boxes that we send with them is recyclable or compostable as well. And then our glass bottles are recyclable, and then the caps on our, as you showed it, the bottle, the caps are made out of bamboo, so it lessens the amount of plastic in the actual bottle. And then for every purchase that's made on our website or in person at the markets that we do, we plant a tree as a part of offsetting our carbon emissions in the shipping process. So we got all these little things that we're kind of adding together to create this awesome movement and identity as a company that goes beyond, what we say is go beyond the beard, and not just let it stop with just buying products and using products, but how can what you buy benefits the environment in this instance, or just not cause harm to the world.
Now, is any of your competition doing stuff like you're doing with the bamboo or any of that other stuff you mentioned? Are they?
Not
You
that.
said that they're over the top with all the packaging and all that other stuff, but just wondering if
Right.
this is just like something very unique to what you're trying to push versus what some of the other brands have done.
As far as I'm concerned, from what I've noticed, no one else is really doing anything. I mean, there may be like 1 or 2 things, but it's never really full circle. It's never really like every single part of what they do is all about it. So maybe a bamboo cap here and there, because like you can get, I mean, those bottles aren't extremely unique to the world. Like there's other people that use them and you can get them. But it's definitely a little bit additive cost type of thing and a choice you have to make when you're making things. So as far as I'm concerned, not really that I've seen. And still seeing a lot of the continued issues with the packaging from other beard oil companies. Like I follow obviously a lot of them on social media, so I can see when people have unboxings and different things like that, because I'm always curious. And it always seems like you're getting a 1 ounce bottle of oil in a massive box with bubble wrap and all that stuff that you're
Right,
immediately
right.
going to throw in the garbage. So we try to eliminate that as much as possible. But
It's just so impressive to me. I can't I mean the scaling alone, especially during that era when everything was no one could go into work to even to build some of the or like, provide some of this stuff. So that's a interesting story. And so how has it transitioned now from that or those early days to
Well,
where you're at now?
also the thing to think about is at that time, physical appearance, I wasn't thinking of that. So you're still there, like combing up, keeping yourself looking good.
Right, right, right,
And
right,
I,
right,
Right.
right.
I was like,
Good
I'll
point.
just
Good
chill.
point.
Well, that was a little bit of a positive though, is because a lot of people hadn't been growing beards, and then like the COVID beard became a thing. So we kind of struck in a little bit of that gold of just like, because I mean, even now people who didn't have beards prior and then had them during COVID are now saying fuck it, and they're like, I'm just going to keep growing it because I like it. I like the way it looks and all this stuff. So I think it opened up a large trend, and now more than ever beards are acceptable in the workplace more than they ever have been. Because I remember, I mean, I got told in college that if I went to school for being on TV and radio, and I got told by someone that came and visited our class that if I ever wanted to be on TV, I had to shave my face. And I was like, no, I'm good. So it was like a weird transition with that COVID. But to answer your question, Drew, as far as like the transition goes, so we started with 4 products and now we have 35.
Sweet.
So we've got different, and we've expanded from just the beard oils to now we have beard balms, we have all natural lip balms, and then we've got
Maybe
body oils
explain
as
what's the
well.
difference between a beard balm and the oil?
So literally for us, it's just 2 ingredients. So what we do is we take the beard oil, which is a blend of 3 oils, and we add mango butter and beeswax to it just to give it more of a consistency. So think of it like a pomade or like a gel styling, more or less, for your beard. So it's going to provide a little bit more of a hold while still giving you some of the benefits that the oil does, because it's got the oil in it, but it's literally just mango butter and beeswax to give it a little bit more of a thicker consistency and styling aspect to it, type of thing.
And is a lot of this mixed or created locally, or how do you outsource that to get then? I'm just so fascinated. And I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but is it moves? It has to move around the country, or how does that work?
No secrets here because it's actually something I'm really proud of. I hand make every single product ever. There's not a single bottle. So at the collective, you saw that people got the goodie bags on the chairs. I handmade, labeled, filled, and packaged all 250 or 60 of those that we put down. So I did all of those. I'm like in my office right now. So like on this wall to my left, your right is like our whole stock. I've got like over 1,000 bottles of oil sitting right here. And so from, I obviously order the bottles from somewhere. I order the labels from somewhere, and then kind of put it all together in that aspect. So from basically the start to finish, it goes through my hands. It goes through a similar process. We wash the bottles, then we mix the oils, we fill the bottles, label the bottles, and then they sit on our shelves in stock. And then as far as fulfillment goes, I mean, this is our fulfillment facility right here is my office. So, I was texting you guys about Black Friday stuff. So it's just been a crazy past couple of days, fulfilling those orders and making sure people are getting their stuff out in a reasonable time and shipped to them without, getting lost and all that stuff is a testament to a lot of what I was saying before. It's just a lot of things that I never thought about or thought I would need to think about that I now
Right.
know way too much about because it's just inevitable, type of thing. So
Super impressive. I mean, everything, all the packaging is so well done, and I've been using the oil and the lip balm. I love both of them. So no, it's
Sweet.
really impressive. You're doing it all by hand. I don't know. It's amazing.
I appreciate that.
I was gonna say we have a couple questions to ask, but I want to play a segment video before we ask them.
Drew and Fuse, all shook up, you hound dogs. Don't be cruel. It is now or never. Let's talk social media.
All right,
Not as many ahas in there as I expected, but
So one of the things that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I would say we did shorten the a little bit. We did, but
At one point there was like 60 seconds worth of and I had to be like, all right, this is too much. Let me exit out of this video real quick.
I love it.
But one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about within what you've done with starting this company is marketing and social media, and how it became from being just something that you make for yourself to now something that people are buying and you're shipping across all over.
yeah, how do you promote it?
So, I mean, Instagram obviously is great. I've just recently hopped on TikTok. I mean, no secret there that stuff works. Facebook too. It's been a learning process because the transition of social media is so interesting to me. So I went to school and for broadcasting and digital media, and that was before TikTok existed. That was on the extreme rise of Instagram. So kind of right before what I would call now the heyday of like social medias, where it's like social media versus social media constantly. And back then it was fun. It was, and this is my opinion, obviously, like it was fun. And now to me, it feels a lot more like a chore. So it's trying to figure out the happy medium of still having fun with something and still accomplishing a goal type of thing as far as like promotion goes. So what we did, a big mistake that I made, is dumping hundreds and hundreds of dollars into Facebook and expecting that just to fuel my business and that just to be the answer. I had a guy that was helping me. I had a couple firms that were helping me, and I was just bleeding money left and right. And they were like, they kept promising me things that I never saw. And so I ditched it. And I was like, I could be making new products. I could be sponsoring local events. I could be doing all sorts of different things with this money that I'm just literally not just like coming in and going out. So about a year ago, I really transitioned our focus on what we wanted to do in regards to promotion, and that is just kind of focusing a lot on our local market here in Montana, but also like the event space, because it's something that I knew and it's something that I'm passionate about. So I wanted to find that happy medium of where can these two collide to benefit, how can we help events have cool, awesome products, something different, something unique? How can we be a part of, some super fun? Because obviously, for those who don't know, a big part of our brand is like outdoor adventure, just kind of doing whatever you want and having fun with it. And whether it be in a city, whether it be in the mountains, whether wherever you are, like we just want to emphasize, being the best that you can be and looking the best that you can be while doing it. So for that, we really focus on local events. Like we sponsored a mountain bike event here in Missoula. We sponsored a snowboarding event last year at Ski Hill south of here. We did the DJ Collective for the second year in a row. We sponsor the minor league baseball team here in Missoula in town. And a lot of that stuff has been a lot more beneficial for our brand and our recognition around town than me just throwing a Facebook ad in somebody's face and hoping that they react to it positively, because we're selling a cosmetic product. You can't smell our products through the internet. A product description is only so good, and it may hit people completely wrong. And they may not understand what exactly it is without seeing demonstrations or feeling it or holding it in their hands and stuff like that. So we've been doing also like farmers markets. We're at the farmers market every single week here in Missoula, and then we do a handful throughout the state. Next week, or this coming weekend, we're in Helena, Montana for a handmade market. The weekend after that, we're back in Missoula for another one, and then the weekend after that, we're doing a different one. So as much as obviously social media is a great tool, if anybody's down on it and just really upset with it, like I tend to get often, it's just like there are other ways. Like it's not I think we're getting fooled into the idea that it's the only way to be successful or get the recognition that you want is through views and likes and all those
Well,
things.
I think it's hard sometimes for people, advertising is great and social media advertising is great. And, it's like Coke. Well, everybody has had a Coke. So when you see a Coke advertisement, it reminds you of the taste and like, oh, I want a Coke right now. Or like even DJs, sometimes you could advertise your DJ business all that you want. But until sometimes people actually hear you DJ or meet you in person, they're like, oh, that's the guy I want to do my event or wedding. And I think that's kind of what you're saying with the product too, is like, you kind of got to get it out there for people to see. And then once they kind of get it, they're like, oh, this is great. I want to use it more.
Right, exactly. And that's what I've noticed with, instead of spending money on ads and all that stuff online, I now invest that into like sample packs that we hand out when we go places. Because it's like I've noticed if we can just get our product in people's hands and they can use it, our success rate of getting them back as a customer is 1,000 times better than it is with like Facebook and Instagram ads. I could count on one hand the amount of new repeat customers that I got from a Facebook ad that I spent over $2,000 on. But I could count on six hands or whatever how many customers that we've gained and followers we've gained because I've given them something and now they can't get enough of it, type of thing. So
Yeah.
the social media stuff, dude, and I figured this was going to be a topic. Like, it's such a love-hate thing for me because I do enjoy media. I do enjoy making videos. I've got a drone. I've got a nice camera. I've got a GoPro. I actually just ordered the Max. You guys convinced me. The whole 360 video stuff. I'm like, I
So
got to
good.
jump on it. So I do really enjoy doing that and spending the time on it. But like when it just becomes something that I feel like I have to do, I feel like it kind of loses a little bit of its taste and it can become cheesy and corny and just like, okay, this person's just posting to post because the algorithm, the algorithm. I'm so tired of people talking about the algorithm. It's insane. But yeah.
It is unfortunate. I think you hit the nail on the head though with saying that like, oh, it used to be fun and now it just feels like something that you have to do. And that's where the point to where like I am, where it's like, oh, when I get excited about something, I want to post it. And like, I've had posts, we all do it where you feel like you're just posting to post stuff. But now I'm
Right.
trying to be more like take a little hands back. And it's like, if I'm excited about it, I want to post it. But if I don't, I just don't. Because if you're not excited about something, how do you expect to get like other people excited? And I know there's the
Right.
whole argument of like content, put it out, which we could list examples of guys right now that we all know that are doing that. And it's amazing, but that is a chore to be doing that.
Right.
Well, and you're running this whole business by yourself, which is already crazy enough to think that, you need a full other team just to do marketing, let alone packaging and branding all this stuff. So obviously you worked on the brand. How did the branding and all of that other stuff come about? Was it pretty organic? You were just like, I'm going to use myself and I'm going to grow it from there.
So this is a good kind of segue for the combination of the DJing and the beard company. So I work for two different companies that are entertainment companies. I work for one that's based out of Northern Illinois and Chicago, and then I work for one that's based here in Missoula. And for them, I book mainly weddings between the both of them, and then I also do solo stuff. So I have a lot of my own gear, pretty much all my own gear, and all that stuff. So I struggled for a long time of wondering if I wanted to start my own DJ company. I'm sure so many people have been there before that are like either a number two or they're in a list of DJs and like, shoot, do I continue to be, just one of the guys? Do I want to be one of the top guys, or do I want to be my guy? Like, do I want to be the only guy? So the beard oil company really gave me the opportunity to step into a role as myself and make myself the brand. Of course, as a DJ, you're always your own brand, and that'll never go away because you are obviously the product. But when I'm getting inquiries and I'm like, hey, I do all these weddings through this person in this location, or I do all my weddings through this person in this location, I'm sending them to their website and not mine, because I don't even have like a personal DJ website because of that, because I send them to certain places depending on where they're located, type of event, and all that stuff. So the beard oil company really gave me an opportunity to be the face of the company, and that's something that I always really truly wanted to do and to be, is the face and the personality and the living proof of what the company's trying to accomplish. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer with the beard and everything, and that's what I noticed a lot about all these other beard oil companies is, I never knew who the guy was. Like, who started this? Where did it come from? Who's the dude that is the proof? You get the one or two guys that you'll see on the social media feed of their company, and like you assume that, okay, this is the guy that started it, yada yada yada. So I really truly wanted to be, not in an arrogant way, but I did want to be the focus of what we were doing, because I love person to person connection so much, and I knew that was going to be a cornerstone of this company, is talking to people, meeting with people. I mean, the amount of markets and relationships and friendships and people that I've just like shook hands with and talked to about this is in the tens of thousands at this point, and it's awesome. I love it. It's so much fun. Of course, just like anything, some days I'm like, man, I can't talk about beard oil anymore. But then I go home and and I'm reminded of like the whole scope of the dream and the goal. So as far as the branding goes, I mean, no secret here. I use 99designs.com to get my logo. You submit a couple of like examples of what you want it to potentially look like, give them a short description, and then they give you a bunch of designs, and then they kind of whittle it down into the finalist. And lucky for me, man, the guy who I ended up with just absolutely nailed it. One of our biggest compliments we get all the time is the logo and how it works. And if you pay attention to it a little bit, you can see that there's, a bird in there. There's some leaves and some sticks to really like show that the environment is integrated into our creation of the beard oil and what we're trying to do.
I love it. I love the logo. You can see it in the background, but here it is as well. No, I love it. One thing that I just want to tell you is I work for other companies as well. I work for a couple of different, I subcontract with a lot of different companies. And I was just talking to a DJ friend yesterday, how I find, this is for all the DJs. I feel that even if you're working for other companies, you need to build your own brand. So I would just say, if you are going to push the DJing aspect of it at all, and I know they kind of combine, still pushing your own brand or creating your own website to where you could coexist and you can send those leads to where they need to go, but you should be really pushing your own brand and representing all that stuff, because you're doing it with the beard stuff and it's amazing, but it could coincide and you could be getting these amazing gigs to where you're the guy that's the go-to guy, and it doesn't matter who books it. You should still be proud of your personal brand on the DJ side of it. So that's something that I would push you into, creating your own, even simple, just DJ end of it.
Perfect. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's definitely I've got a long list of stuff to do this off season. So, and that is definitely on there because I've already started to see the connection between the two. For example, the baseball team that we sponsor is the Beard Oil Company. They approached me as a sponsor for the beard oil, and then I sold them on the DJing, and now I'm their official DJ. And so this past season was our first time doing it, the first time they had ever done anything like that. And this next season, we've really kind of refined the process and what it's going to look like, and we've got some really cool stuff planned that I'm super stoked about. Get a DJ from home plate every once in a while, which is super cool. I know Fuse is a big baseball guy, so we'll have to get you guys out for a game or something. But yeah.
What's
So
the-
I agree. All that to say, I agree. It's interesting to see how the two can very much weave together and be uniquely theirs, but also the combination
Well,
of the two.
I mean, I think it's something that we try and preach as a lot is uniqueness. I mean, we did the panel at the DJ Collective, and the panel was really about being unique and how do you put your own self or your own spin inside of it. And to relate it all back to DJing is you just be yourself. There's there's no other way around it. Just be yourself and put your style into it, and people are going to flock to it. So you're already doing that with the oil. I just think if you kind of combine it, I think it could be like this really dope product that you're pushing.
Heck yeah.
I think having your own DJ brand is only going to help push all of the brands, like in terms of like the beard oil. It's only going to help if you have two different companies that are selling you in different markets. What's good for your brand is good for theirs, because if you essentially blow up more, it's only going to help their brand and all of that stuff. So I think it's a good thing to have all of it.
It was one of my big takeaways from the DJ Collective. A couple of people have been asking me what was my takeaway, and this is my 5th year. And some of the speakers or some of like the talks, I might have already heard, or it didn't hit me. But the one thing that keeps coming home is I really need to focus on my own personal brand, and I need to just get my star going back to what it used to be before I was trying to do a multi-op. And so I think you really have this right here, and just pushing it a little bit harder on that side of it. I think you could have the most unique thing in the country, man. It's really dope having the both sides.
I think that's my favorite part about it too, that gets me all fired up, is like the fact that every decision that is made now is mine. And and it's in the best interest of obviously the company as a whole, but like I am the one that's in the front of the train. And how can we do the things that we need to do to grow and continue to grow, and then also combine the two when we can. I love it. It gets me fired up all the time, especially when things are going well. I mean, every other day you feel like there's something that can always go wrong, but it's retail, dude. Retail. Don't ever get into men's retail. Don't ever do it. It's a nightmare. But I do love it. I say all that, and I do truly love it, and it's been a blast.
Men are the worst. Let's be honest. Women want to
It's
just
so
buy
bad.
everything, and men are like, why do I need that?
It's funny. All the time at farmers markets, we'll get couples that walk by, and the lady's always like nudging the guy or the bearded person, like, hey, look, beard stuff, and they're always like, fuck that, I don't need that. Like, what, you think my beard looks bad? And it's like, bro, come on, you're killing me right now. Oh,
I was gonna say
it's
it
so
must be
funny.
it's got to be a hard market to tap into with just the types of men that usually rock longer beards, and the ideology that comes with it. I'm sure is a lot of hard-headedness to break into, with that. So
It's like black and white. Like they're either super anti, like I don't ever need anything for it, or like we get the guys that are like, I've got like 60 bottles at home. I'm a connoisseur. Like I've got all these different brushes and these combs and all this stuff. And then I would say there's 3 schools of thought. Then there's the third school of thought where it's just the clueless dude that has just, has no idea that there is even some sort of product for their beard.
Right.
And it's just like those guys I love, because I was like, here, I promise you, just use this a couple times. Like this will help you so much. Like just try it. So, but yeah, stubborn guys they're the worst, man. It's just like I could complain all day about it.
So I know we were talking at the collective, and some people were asking if they don't have a beard, how they can use this. It's also a lotion people could use maybe for shaving, or I don't know if you could talk about that other
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. So there, it's honestly, and I think I mentioned this to you guys, and I mentioned it to people all the time. The only thing that makes it beard oil is literally the marketing behind it. So it is a blend of all natural oils that is just actually great for your skin. So if you don't have a beard, my dad he's a dentist. He shaves every day. He's been clean shaved since as long as I could remember. He uses it as an aftershave instead of, a hair growth promoter or anything like that. So you can use it as an aftershave. If you do want to use it as a shave oil, you're more than welcome to. You definitely can. I know when I go to my barber and I have him shave my cheeks, he uses it on my cheeks, so it works well for that. For people with longer hair, it's great for dry scalp. It's great for healing split ends or preventing split ends. It's also great for like really coarse hair. It's just going to naturally hydrate your hair in a way that most other products can't. So like for you, Drew, you're obviously never going to put, lotion or U2 fuse like on your hair. If you are, please stop. It's really, really bad for you. You're not going to put like that stuff on your hair, and you never would have the hair on your head. So it's kind of a natural moisturizer. We also do have like a full body oil line that's catered to the skin more than just the hair. We just switched around a couple of the oils and made it a little bit of a thinner blend. So it's great as a replacement for lotion, or you can even add it to your lotion to thin out your lotion a little bit and add a good smell to it. So there's a lot of different options that you can use it for. It's not like people are always like, oh, if I rub it on, my face and I don't want to grow facial hair, am I just going to grow a beard? I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not altering your genetics like right now. Like, like is not the case. And so it's true. Man.
Lord, give
the questions.
Dude.
The questions we get sometimes, I just laugh like, oh, it's just too funny. But yeah, so all that to say, there is plenty of other uses that you can use it for, aside from just beard or facial hair.
I love it, dude. So good. Why are people so dumb, man?
Dude, in the wedding world, I thought I had seen some pretty ridiculous stuff and just some questionable like thought processes of people. But then you get into retail, and then you're just like, who told you what at what point in your life that has just misconstrued you to think these ridiculous things? But it's the way the world is.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we know you do the baseball team, and we're kind of going to do our rendition of Serato top 5. We're going to talk about some songs that are big at the baseball park that you play in. But first, I'm going to play this segment video.
Hey, Tazon Day here. Drew and Fuse, the drewiest and fusiest pair on the planet, are here to marinate your ears, marinate themselves, maybe kind of rotisserie themselves, and roll around in the ambiance of sound and music. So put on some Tazon Day light candles and let's talk music.
Please don't ever stop doing those.
Tazon Day himself, Mr. Chocolate Rain.
Mr. Chocolate Rain. It's so good.
All right. So we know, usually, when we do Serato top 5, we talk, top 5 songs that are the most played in Serato libraries. But we know you've been DJing at the baseball park, and you were telling us off camera that you were in the outfield playing like a 15-minute hype the crowd up set. So we just want to talk a little bit about some of the songs that you were playing in that set, and what you think was working.
Yeah, it's super cool because it's been awesome to be a part of the organization to a degree that they've asked me for my advice in a professional way of like, okay, what do you think would be cool? We really love the idea of integrating you as much as we can. So it started out with me just doing an hour as people were walking to the concourse. So I'd be in the concourse by the bar, just hanging out while there's a barbecue area too. So I'd be playing there for an hour as people came in once doors opened. And then we made it into the playoffs. And so I approached the entertainment manager and was just like, hey, I've got this idea. What if we like pipe? Because at that time I was like my own speakers in the concourse. I wasn't tied into the stadium system, and I was like, hey, what did you think about tying into the stadium system? Maybe moving me up, closer to the stands and kind of being in that area and kind of creating that atmosphere on the field instead of in the front. And he goes, I love it. He's like, what if we just put you on home plate? I'm like, what? You want to put me on home plate? He goes, yeah, let's put you on home plate. And so sure enough, for 3 separate times while we were in the playoffs, I got to DJ from home plate. And the way that kind of worked is I would do 45 minutes of opening in the concourse, and then I'd flip and run down to home field and DJ. They'd give me like a 15-minute, 20-minute window to just as like a crowd hype up right before, and then I would DJ the player walkouts. So what we would do is play every player's walkout or batting song as they walked onto the field for the starting lineup type of thing. So it was super awesome because it really pushed me to be more creative than most like private events really are, because at that point you're kind of more or less putting on a show. It's like, I mean, obviously every time you DJ is a little bit of a show, but at this point in time, I'm on the Jumbotron and I've got a camera right in my face and people are watching me. So if I'm letting, Dua Lipa play all 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the song and I'm doing nothing, people are going to be like, this is boring. So I really took like a Red Bull 3 style battle style approach to it, in a sense that I wanted to be very hands-on, very quick moving, and just make it more entertaining and about the music. Because I know it wasn't a dance party, it wasn't vibey. It was more like, okay, we've got 10 minutes to game time. What can we do to get people hyped?
Quick question: what equipment wise and logistically, how are you getting it out there? Is it like on a cart and it's like push it out there, all the cables get round out, you do your set real quick, and then they like pull the cart? Because this is home plate and shit's got to happen.
Right.
So logistics.
So,
I'm a nerd for logistics.
So for up in the concourse, I just use a DJ SX, super simple, just because it's simple, quick mixing, stuff like that, nothing crazy. And then I'd have 2 speakers that I would just like when it was my time to shut down, close the computer. By this time, I had already been there and I had set my stuff, my turntables. I've got my Rain 12s right here behind me. Those would already be set up on a table right in front of home plate. And the players aren't allowed to do any sort of warm up activities after like 90 minutes prior to the game. So nobody can touch my stuff, or there's no like baseballs flying around by my gear. So I felt comfortable. So it's set up on the table right in front of home plate. There's one XLR that they run from the press box down to my gear. So I'm a direct into their board. And then I've got an extension cord running power. So as soon as I'm done, there's somebody that's ready to go to pull the XLR off the cord. And then the legs of the table that we grab just fold right up and we put the table on the back of a gator and then we just take off. So it's quick. It's real quick. Cause literally the first time we didn't account for like the national anthem and we got caught in the middle of the teardown right as they're about to play the national anthem. And I just was like, guys, stop. Like we're not tearing down while the national anthem is playing. Like people will literally look at us like we're the devil. Like we cannot do this. So after we did it the first time though, it was a lot smoother and we just kind of pick up the table, put it on a gator. I hop on the gator and we just bust out of there, drive around. We'd like exit through third base or down the third base line and then pull out, and then I can tear it all down there and take it away. So stressful.
No, it sounds like it, but you got a team behind you, so it makes sense. So then let's talk songs. Like how did you wrap your head around this set, and what are some of the songs you pushed?
So it's cool because having DJ'd the concourse before, you really get an idea of who's at the games and like who is there. So I took that into account a lot. And at these games, these aren't MLB, it's called the Pioneer League. It's an independent league. We used to be affiliated with the Diamondbacks, but now we're independent, which is better for us. There's a lot less rules that we have to follow, including drinking rules, which is great. So in that respect, our demographic does tend to lean a little bit older. We get a lot of, older people in even their 50s and their 60s. Sometimes people that just love baseball and like love to come for the atmosphere and be there. But then you also have your mid-20s, early 30s, party crowd. And I had a conversation with the manager ahead of time, just kind of what was our goal? Who did we want to experience this the most? Do we want to cater to the larger old crowd, or do we want to get people hyped? And we just kind of came to the conclusion when it comes down to it, like we really care more about the players. We want to hype up the players. We want to win the game while also making sure that people feel comfortable with what's being played. So with that being said, I bounced a lot between new stuff and oldies. So like for example, like I played in one of my sets, I made sure I played Panama by, you know, Van Halen, and I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that I played that was like old. Like I played Spirit in the Sky and Fortunate Son, some CCR stuff, and some Rolling Stones to like really cater to that older crowd, because I love that music. I mean, that's what I grew up listening to my
Yeah.
dad with, like I said before. So, and played in the right space and at the right time and for the right amount of time, it can be pretty hype. So,
Definitely, especially in that
right,
area, that demographic.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of that stuff, you know, Gimme Shelter, and then obviously I threw in a good handful of, you know, the popular hype Drake songs that are not the new stuff that sucks, you know, some Kanye West, the typical like All the Lights, Trophies, Big Rings, kind of stuff like that. Can be kind of typical in the sporting arena, but it goes over well when mixed with older classics, if you will.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my goal, was like, okay, how can we combine the two to make sure that everybody's hearing something that they know? So when I drop, you know, 6 foot, 7 foot, and then I play, you know, Van Halen next, the old lady that's literally 30 feet in front of me that's giving me dagger eyes because she just heard Lil Wayne is like, oh my goodness, he knows who Van Halen is. Oh, so that's true story. That actually happened. So it's been cool though. It's really forced me to think about music a little bit differently than a wedding or a corporate event would ever make you think about it, which is fun for me.
Yeah, it's a fine line, man. You're walking that line, especially with people drinking.
Right,
People can be
exactly.
assholes. All of a sudden, the asshole comes out, and they all know more than the guy that just had a stroke. Right? It's the
Right.
same type of person. They're all over there. I know what I want, but you know, if you mix it right, then people get on board. So that's dope,
Right.
man. That's really rad.
It is interesting that, yeah, I've tried to be really creative and drop like baseball-esque sound bites like into my sets, and so far every single one has been like way too over everybody's heads. So like I dropped a couple sound bites from, oh, I forgot even what movie it was. Like I think I did one from Field of Dreams. I think I did one from even Major League. Like I was just dropping like
Yes.
random stuff in there. Like, and it was just, oh, nobody grabbed onto it. It wasn't like, you know, obviously a main part of the set, but it was just funny because I was like, I'm gonna try this and maybe someone will get it. And they didn't, so it was fine. But for example, like I'll just run through this set list real quick. You know, I get 15 songs. Maybe I've got, you know, Lose Yourself, Eminem, Going Bad, Run This Town, All the Way Up, Public Service Announcement, and then Can't Stop by the Chili Peppers. And then I played the Rocky theme. This is How We Do, or How We Do by 50 Cent, or with 50 Cent, and then into Smells Like Teen Spirit, into Seven Nation Army, and then
Yeah.
into Win by J Rock. So obviously it's a lot of like sport, win this, win, all that stuff,
Right.
but with a little bit of old flavor sprinkled in to keep the old people
Now,
happy.
do the players give you their requests at all? Are you in tune with them? Because I know most players have some kind of walk-up song, right?
Right. So I asked our entertainment director, I was like, hey, will you ask the players for me? Like, if there's something that they really, really want to hear, I'm more than happy to work it in. 9 times out of 10, it's a hip hop song at 70 some BPM, or it's a rager at 128. So it's like right in those two realms that are going to be a little common. And they literally did not care. So, let me say they all pick their walk up songs. Like they have the same walk up song that they maybe change once or twice a season. So I had all of their walk up songs ready to go. But as far as like the pre walk up set, they all were just like, we don't care. But then, so as soon as they did their walkouts, I had all of those songs in a crate that like labeled with their names, with the drop cue points and all that stuff like that. So, which is funny because, you know, we have a lot of country folk up here in Fuse. I'm with you, man. Country music could never be played ever again, and you would never see a tear out of my eye. But we do have to cater to that crowd as well, which is always fun. So Chris Stapleton deep cuts always.
Yeah,
Morgan Wallen mashups.
Yeah,
Dude, Morgan Wallen is God here, and it's kind of annoying, but whatever.
yeah.
Fuse is like, there's a reason why there's no country edits from me on DMS.
There actually is.
There actually
That's the
is.
funny.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We were filling a void for country, and I was like, man, I really don't want to do this. Or like, I think there's some really, really old ones that I did just to like do for the site. Because that's the thing. A lot of times for DMS, I'm not editing as much as I once was for the site, but for a while there, that was just my sole job was editor. And so a lot of times it was what's not on the site, what do we need up, and there was some country, and then I had an alias because I was tired of posting country music under my name. For a while there, I was posting all the country edits under the name of Plaid Blazely, and that's me actually. So
I'm gonna. Can I still find a Plaid Blazely edit on?
Oh, there are
Direct
tons of
Search?
on there. There's tons
Yeah.
on there.
Oh no way! This is great.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now.
I had somebody ask me recently, "Who's Plaid Blazely?" and I just laughed.
He's a legend.
There's a deep cut for you guys. Plaid Blazely is Fusemania.
It's actually Morgan Whalen's groupie that just makes edits for him.
I think I have a Morgan Wallen edit up there too. That it's just me. Whiskey glasses. Yeah, I made some edits of that for it this year actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because again, sometimes we just realize something's not on the site, and I'm like, I'll just do it real quick and put it up. Like it somehow got missed or overlooked or whatever.
The fact that Scooter's got a Morgan Wallen Roscoe Dash blend that's gold.
I told you. I
There you
said
go.
mashups. Yeah.
Yeah, you could use them. You could use it at the stadium. We haven't done one of these in a while. We're gonna go ahead and get a 60-second rant going. So I'm gonna play this segment video, and we'll get to ranting.
Hey, Drew and Fuse. Peter Griffin calling in. I want to hear what really grinds DJ's gears. Besides from Bad Bunny requests from a phone or DJs stealing custom mashups of YMCA and Macarena and using it on their own TikToks. Hey, this week's guest, what grinds your gears?
All right, there you have Peter Griffin with the 60-second rant. I'm pulling 60 seconds up on my phone, and we can get started as soon as you start talking. I'll set the clock.
All right, ready, go. Astero Pixel tubes are not that cool. The sync button is a viable option as a DJ, and if you hate on it that much, you've got too much time on your hands. 360 videos might be cooler in the future. I just bought a camera, so I'm not sure yet. Sparkler exits are the death of your dance floor. Do not ever do them. It is kind of cool to make your ceremony optional. Do not ever have your wedding ceremony before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, unless your venue says you got to be out by 10. Don't do it. Beard oils for everybody. Use it, rub it, love it. Our body oil can be used as lube. That's it.
All right. With 8 seconds remaining, I just want to say Astera tubes I think are cool. I do think they're cool, but I think they are becoming a little overhyped. So I will say that.
Here's a little fun fact about the Montana market. So the sun here doesn't set in the summer until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I have just zero use for any lighting ever because all of our venues are outside. So anytime everybody just brags about their pixel tubes, I just laugh and just say it must be nice to be indoors.
I will fight everybody because I do love mine. It's been a great addition, and it's really just I only have 4 of them. I don't do the crazy amount like some people I've seen like 10, 12. I think it's crazy. I like it. It fills the dance floor, but I also could throw out a couple up lights and do that there. So I can see both arguments for it, but I have been loving them lately.
It's just frustrating when you see like something cool come out and then the trend of just, well, now everybody has these, and I get it because,
I'll tell you guys, and Briggs, I'm not sure if you were there, but the DJ Collective, it was 2019, and they used the pixel tubes for the first time. They brought Jacob out.
Yep.
And every single person was like, "What are those lights?" And we all were gonna dump a bunch of money and buy them. We were all ready for 2020, and then 2020 hit and pulled the plug on all of us, and we all slowly bought them. But it was that show that basically Jacob was the one that put them in everybody's hands at that show.
Yeah.
No one was even paying. It was on nobody's radar until that show.
Are you talking? What party did he use them for? I'm trying to
It
remember.
was Buck Rogers played, Scooter played, Digital Dave
Oh, yeah.
played.
Yep. That's when it got moved inside because it was raining, right?
Yeah. Angelo played, and he just had them kind of laying around, and everyone was like, "What are they? What is this?"
Yep.
And that is exactly the reason why everybody did it. It was that influential.
We know
Yeah,
you got
everyone
that
knows
Astera
what's up.
tube hiding in the corner in the back of your video right now.
Dude, that's not even an Astera tube.
I
That
know,
is a
just kidding.
lightsaber.
That is
I
a
got one too.
lightsaber.
No, that is what is it? It's what's the brand? Oh, Govee.
Govee?
It's a Govee. The difference between them is they have this giant base. They're not wireless. You got to plug them in.
Yeah.
But I like them because it's a different kind of lamp.
I like it.
It's a different kind of lamp. That should be their slogan.
That
It's
should
just
be
a
their
different kind
slogan.
of lamp.
All right, we got the sauce. Let's take it home. Take it home for them. You got some giveaways for us, some takeaways, building your own company, doing something out of the pandemic that is so stressful that you basically birthed this whole new project from it. What's a big takeaway for people that you just got to dive in and do it and learn as you go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a good one right there. Just don't be afraid to dive into something. Don't be afraid to be the one in the room that knows the least, because it's those moments in time that you're going to learn the most. Because when everybody knows more than you, it's inevitable that you're going to learn something. And don't or always be like a learner. Don't always feel like you need to be a teacher, and just honestly just have fun, man. I mean, that was another takeaway from the collective is to this year I experienced the worst burnout I've ever experienced as a DJ, like in my personal career, and it sucked, and I actually realized it, and I had to swallow it, and it's not something that I hope people ever have to go through, but it's real. And going to the collective and just seeing other DJs, better DJs, having genuine fun, dude. The smile on Scratch Bastard's face is the most it's more
so good.
contagious than COVID, bro. Like, it's just literally that smile is so genuine, and you can tell that he loves nothing more than playing music for people and having a good time. It just like sparked a little bit of fire and reassurance in me that I'm doing what I love, and I am truly on the right path, because especially with the Beardo company too, dude, it's so easy to just get bogged down and smacked in the face and wallow in that. But I also have to remind myself that it took a very shitty situation like a pandemic for me to then find the thing that I truly love the most, and that's creating my own company, pursuing it, putting my head down, doing the hard work. And that's the other thing too, nothing's easy. Hard work is real, and don't ever take a handout. Work hard, because that shows.
I mean, obviously, you're putting all this time into it. You're building all this stuff yourself. What new stuff that can we look forward to? I mean, you already got 34 products already.
Yeah.
What's something that's on the horizon that maybe you could just grease us with a little bit, or what's something you can give us that to look out for?
So one of the biggest asks that we've been getting is like a beard wash that we just don't carry yet, and so I'm in the process of creating my own. And I tell people all the time I would never sell anything or put anything on our website that I don't personally use. So a lot of this stuff does take time, just because I've got to test stuff out. I've got to make sure I like it. So a beard wash is very much in the future, and hopefully coming to a store near you. And eventually we would love to do like a full merch line. We would love to do like a streetwear line, for lack of better words, that focuses on sustainability and the brand itself. So a lot of the eco-friendliness with the logo and the colors and the greens and the orange and the earth tones, because it's something I'm passionate about. But that's down the road a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Stay tuned to our socials though, because I'm pretty active on there. I'm a stories guy. TikTok can suck it. So
and
Well,
where can everybody find your
yes.
products? Maybe you want to plug all that.
Yeah, so if you're in the local Montana market, which is probably very minimal listening to this podcast. We're in a few stores in Missoula, the Paddle Heads Post, Zulikins Clubhouse, Patty Creek Market. If you're anywhere else in the nation, Northern Illinois, Rockford, there's a few shops. Hit me up. I'll let you know if you're curious. Otherwise, online, we ship nationwide. We ship to Hawaii, Alaska, and Canada as well. So BriggsBeardCo.com. Hit us up. And if you made it this far through the podcast, if you use code DAFS, also known as DAFS, we'll give you 20% off. I'm making that up right now, so I got to go plug it in. But yeah, online's the best spot, and we'll ship it right to you, and we'll get you taken care of.
That's amazing. Daft's Punks, you heard it first. Yeah, go there, get your oil. I'm using it. Like I got the beard oil and I got the chapstick, which honestly I fucking love this chapstick and I love the beard oil. It smells so good. My wife's been so hyped. She's like, I thought you hated oils or smelling stuff, and she's in heaven. So no.
What
definitely.
chapstick did you get? Oh, Montana Dreamin'. Nice. Yep.
Okay.
I got
That's,
the other one in mine, and I liked it too. I like the chapstick as well. I haven't used the beard oil yet, but I plan on giving it a run.
Go for it. Yep.
Man, my wife honestly has been so hyped on it. she's
Dude, that's
she's
the
been
thing.
loving it. So
We thought about making our slogan Briggs Beard Co. It gets you laid, but I was the only one behind that one.
no, it's good, man. No, dude, thank you so much for being on. I mean, just the story by itself is just such an inspiration. I think, some people always think, can I be a DJ past 50 or can I do this? And I think it all ties together. It's about learning to be an entrepreneur and not just being a DJ.
Right.
I think it's really you're doing the most for something you love in the passion project, and it all stemmed from something else. So it always
Right.
coincides. So yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being
I appreciate you guys. Like, thank you so much for having me. Drew, it's been a pleasure knowing you for the few years that we have, and Fuse, I'm glad that we finally got to meet up and connect, and you just right back at you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having fun. I mean, in this day and age, people are just so testy and so on edge about so much stuff. And, this show is a perfect example of, why not say fuck it and just have some fun,
It is our passion project. We're just having fun with it. So it's been something new. I mean, you gotta have a hobby,
Absolutely.
DJing used to be our hobby, it became a business, which is amazing, but you gotta still enjoy fun. So
That's right.
hopefully this doesn't become work to you and you still keep pushing out and enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
You need a helper in there. You need an assistant.
Oh, don't worry. I got my girlfriend. Whenever I convince her to help me, I just like, I'll buy dinner tonight. Can you label these bottles for me?
That's worth it. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what are we having?
No, but she is awesome. I do both her, and then I have another business partner that runs the markets for me. So they deserve a shout out, Jake and Al. So thank you so much to them. It wouldn't be possible without them. And yep, surround yourself with awesome people, and success is inevitable. Keep pushing.
There it is.
Awesome.
Plug us. Did you already hit the websites and everything? Or where to find everything?
Yeah, BriggsBeardCo.com. All the socials are just Briggs Beard Co. No underscore, nothing special. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok when I'm not being lazy. So hit them up.
There you have it. Make sure you follow him on all of the social medias. Hit that promo code if you're going to go buy some beard oil, chapstick, or one of his other 34 products. And that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much. Wherever you're listening, please like, follow, subscribe, download, all that good stuff. We do have some YOLO line voicemails that I'm going to play on the next episode. So be looking out for those. And if you guys need that number again, it's 562-246 YOLO. And that's going to wrap up the show today. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.